Hi everyone, it's Lydia, sitting here in Connecticut. I kind of wanted to just introduce my YouTube channel and talk about myself a little bit and talk about how I may bring on my husband to do a podcast and talk about what's going on in the world. We're trying to figure it out. We also want to talk about our life stuff, what we go through as an interracial couple. I'm in my 50s, he's in his 60s, talk about aging, talk about a lot of different things. But we want to mainly focus on the name of the YouTube channel is Daily News and More with AI. I have a lot of, I'm sorry, I'm doing this at home with my own camera in front of me and I just hit my own little thing. So right now the channel is basically being done with avatars. And I thought about it and I'm like, let me put a human face behind this and talk about some things, I don't want to bring it the way that like the Midas Touch is bringing it and like these other really great independent news outlets are. I just want to come on and talk. If I want to, add a clip here or there or like, add like, another link to another syndicate or whatever or another channel, I will do that because I feel like that's not me. I don't do journalism. I do know what's going on. I've been following it like crazy, but I don't want to pretend to be the expert in what's going on. I want to learn from others. But in saying that, I can still bring people the information by sharing things from around YouTube that I'm learning and from around the web. So I will bring that and incorporate it into our videos. What I want to do is I want to talk about what's going on. I want to talk about life stuff. I want to, again, start a podcast with my husband and bring him on. And, he wants to be on, whether it's just us sitting here and talking to you or doing a podcast style type of thing, we're still trying to figure that part out. We might do both. I think we can do whatever we want to do in this world, right? When I say I'm nothing special, I am just a human being that is just trying to get my voice heard about certain topics. We're going to talk about anything from like daily news to, being in an interracial relationship. My husband is white, to aging. I'm 53, he's 66. Just talking about how, life stuff affects us. Right now, we all know what's going on, right? So anyone that's sitting under these United States, unless you don't have a way to connect to what's going on online and stuff like that, what's going on, right? So like, for instance, we all know that, what's going on with Trump, and we all know that there's a lot of people that are trying to fight what's going on, and we all know what's going on with Social Security or what's about to happen with Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid. So again, I don't need to be the expert on that. We all know. And we all know that it's a shit show. My stepson is on Medicaid. My parents are on Medicaid and Medicare. My husband is on Medicare and Medicaid, even though he works full time because he is at retirement age. And all this stuff people have earned. And I don't know what's going on with people, like when I say people, Doge and his team, Elon Musk and his team, saying that it's a Ponzi scam, Social Security is, saying that there's people that are over 100 years old accepting Social Security, that, there are people that shouldn't be on Medicare, should be working. Well, my stepson is mentally, he has some mental health issues going on, and he also is developmentally disabled. And so to just say that he can go out and get a regular job, we can't say that, but to say that he might be able to get a job, doing something, yeah, maybe one day. Sorry about that, I had to get rid of a notification. So again, this is not perfect. I don't want to be on here for long. It's already been about 5 minutes, and I promised myself 10 to 15 minutes today. So I am watching the time. I'm not going to edit this and make it perfect. I'm not. This is me unfiltered. And, a lot of people will say, well, I do a lot of editing. That's great. I'm just going to show up and talk. And today, what's really bothering me is when Trump addressed Congress 24 hours ago, within the last 24 hours, because it just seems like everything is seem like everything is just like leaking into one day at a time, so it's hard to know one day into the next, I mean. So it's hard to know, like, was that yesterday or was that today? But at any rate, he addressed Congress. And I watched, and so I just want to tell you my perspective on it. Like I said, I'm not a journalist. I'm just going to tell you how it affected me. The way that he leaned his body when he was talking, he had his body was leaning towards my, you know, when as I'm watching, my right, which would have been his left, which was the side where Republicans were sitting, and he was leaning away from the Democratic side. And I was watching and I was saying, you know what, we don't always agree as a party, as a people, as whatever. But isn't it the president's responsibility to bring us all together? So the body language should have been open. It should have been addressing the Congress, whether they like you or not. You're addressing the Congress because as a president, it is your job to bring the world together. The problem is, and I'm going to say it just like it is, he's lying. He's fucking lying to everybody. And so the people that buy into his lies or that have signed on for this, which is the side that's listening to him, the side that he's elevated, whether it's, you know, he's given people's jobs, whatever he's done, as long as they kiss the ring, so to speak, he's happy. He told the Democratic side that because they weren't standing for him, that they weren't, basically they weren't being professional. He had one of the guys escorted out. Several of the people in Congress on the Democratic side walked out. One gentleman that is on another channel that I can't remember his name, but he said, "You're not my king," or this is not a land of kings. But he had a T-shirt on that basically said, "You're not the king," or "We don't bow to kings." I can't remember exactly what it said, but it basically said, "We don't bow to kings. You're not the king." You know, it basically said what it needed to say. And I sat there and I watched it. I did not watch the whole thing because I couldn't stomach it. But basically, everything that we've been seeing him destroy, he's making it like it's been the best there is. And he's making it like almost like nothing's happening and people are still like, people love him, his ratings are high, and everything that is opposite is what he said was happening. And so I had to turn it off, but I watched the highlights, meaning I watched some of the stuff from like Midas Touch. I follow them. I watched some of the stuff with I can't remember this other guy's name, but he was interviewing Jasmine Crockett and a couple of other people. And I wanted to say that one of the guys that Trump kicked out, I couldn't remember his name. Oh, I think it was Mr. Brown. Please don't quote me on that. What he said was, there's no mandate to cut Medicare. And that part was being drowned out with all the, yelling and screaming from the other side. It was very, very, very... He said that the Democrats were being unprofessional, but actually it was the other way around. And I think what the Democrats were doing was they were just standing up for us, saying there's no mandate for Medicare, is what Mr. Brown was saying. And he had his cane. That's why I'm doing this gesture. He had his cane in the air. And I didn't know what he was saying until he was interviewed after the fact. He was interviewed by one of the people from a YouTube channel that's an independent journalist. And the guy, and actually when he was walking out, one of the other journalists, one of the lady journalists just asked him, what was it that you were saying? And he said, I was telling him there's no mandate for Medicare. Meaning there is nothing that is saying that Medicare needs to be cut. The only reason, what that means is like when a mandate is put in place, it's to make changes, it's to figure out what else is needed. It's a policy that's put in place saying, okay, we're gonna make these changes. There's nothing that says that needs to be done, and that's something that's agreed upon by both the Democratic part of the Congress and the Republican side. They come together and they try to figure out what's best for us. If they take Medicare, if they take Medicaid, if they take Social Security, that's it. There's nothing else that's going to be put in place for people. That means that they are starting, in my opinion, and I hate to say this because like I said, I'm not an expert, but it comes across like they're trying to do something called genocide, where they take everything that you need in order to survive, knowing that you won't survive because there's a lot of people that only live on Social Security. And for a variety of reasons. It has nothing to do with being lazy. You've paid into that all your life by working, and now you're at an age where you're retired. How do they know that my parents can work? My parents can't even hardly walk. So now they're saying that, like, if you take Social Security and you're a certain age range, you should work. Or how do we know that they're just not lazy? Well, you're not doing any surveys. You're not asking each other. You're not working together. It's the Republicans and Trump against us. And by us, I mean everyone, including the people that have voted for him. So for those of you that voted for him, that think that you're different, or that think that it's not that bad, he won't take that away from us. Wake up. Like right now as we speak, they are going to make cuts. And the fact that they have our personal information, when I say they, Elon Musk, I don't give a shit how rich he is, should not have my Social Security information, should not have my parents' Medicaid or Medicare information. He should not have access to that because he was not voted for. He is not a politician. He is not anyone that is even educated in any of the stuff that he's talking about. And I mean, when I say he's not that educated, stop calling him a genius. He's fucking stupid. And I don't care how much money he has. Money can't buy smart. And he is walking around calling things a Ponzi scam, giving false information with no data, nothing behind it to prove it. And for those of you that are like, yes, thank you for doing that, that is the craziest thing that I've ever heard. Prior to Trump walking into office, and I can't believe it's only going to say this, but in January, because that's when he was officially, started his journey. Prior to that, things were good. We were making it. We were surviving. It is now only the beginning of March. Farmers are suffering. People that require aid from USAID are dying. My parents and possibly part of my family is going to be cut off of Medicaid benefits and Medicare that they need. Social Security that my husband has earned. I just feel like we're living in a world where everything's upside down right now. And I'm tearing up as I say this because I am truly scared. Like, I'm not acting. I don't know how to act. Okay? I don't know who's going to see this video, who's going to listen to it, who's even going to bother, but I just want people to know that I, Lydia, I don't like to give out my last name too much, but like, just say Lydia G. I am in Connecticut. I care about you guys. I care about everyone. And I do believe that this country needs to come together, and we have to figure out a way, whether it's a civil lawsuit or something. Elon Musk needs to be sued for anything that he takes from us. And I am even going to say this, all the Republican Congress people, if you see this, anyone, even if it's just one of you that sees this video, please stand up for the American people. Anyone, including the president, that, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. Anyone that takes away from people like he is doing is a traitor. And you are working with a traitor and his puppet. I don't even want to go into Putin. That's another video. I don't, am I saying it right? Putin. Putin. Vladimir Putin he's a war criminal. And he invaded Ukraine. And it was not the other way around and never will be. And for people that are walking around even thinking that a country would attack themselves, attack their own schools, attack their own hospital, you are dumber than the dumbest of the dumb. And you deserve what you're getting from Trump. And I mean that. If you really think that, you're fucking stupid. And if you don't have a computer, okay, I'll give you that. But everything can be found whether it's, through talking, through looking at books, go to the library, do some research. But if you do have a computer, look up your history. Look up the country's history. Russia is not our friend. They are actually our enemy. And Trump is sleeping with the enemy. And I don't know if it's literal or figuratively. I mean, figurative or literal. I don't know what they're doing. But I know he's not sleeping with his wife. And I don't care what anyone says. They are not together. I don't know why she stays. I think she stays for the privilege of being seen as the first lady, of having what she has because of her son and his autism and special needs. They don't call it special needs, special development these days. That's what they call it. But whatever it is, that is obvious. And I don't know what it is that's going on with Trump mentally, but you gotta know that that's not normal. This is not normal. It's everything that he says. He says that we're bloated, we're lazy. He's talking about people, American people that are working hard. I work hard. My husband works hard. I don't want to go on and on, but that's basically what I wanted to talk about. And this is what I mean. I just want to keep it real. I want to talk about how I feel. Tell me how you feel. Drop a comment below and say, hey, And I didn't say this perfectly. I know that there are people out there that do YouTube and they have segments, and I might do that at some point, and they really have it polished. I'm not there yet. I literally just jumped online today. Figured I would say a few words, and I'm supposed to be 15 minutes in, and it's 16 minutes, so I'm going to stop right now. But I want to say to you guys, please, please, please get in touch with your local legislators, get in touch with your local town hall. We have to get out there and fight, because this is a fight. And I just want to say one more thing. Look at the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act is trying to keep people from voting. Voter suppression is real. It's trying to say that if you're married, you can no longer use your birth certificate, because your birth certificate has your maiden name, and you used to be able to use anything from that. And something about your driver's license might not be enough. We might need our passports. And a lot of people don't have their passports. And I'm going to say, you know what? I understand that, I think I was maybe a little bit over $100 for my passport. And I understand that not everyone has that. But if you guys can put your pennies together and at least get your passport by next year, because I believe that what they're trying to do is, I believe they're trying to shut it down so that people cannot vote by the midterms. Because think about it. By the midterms, I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're going to want this mess to stop. And I think that what they're trying to do is they're trying to pass this SAVE Act so that people can't vote. I don't know. Maybe I should do a separate video for that and talk more about that, and I think I will. But I just wanted to mention that because a lot of people might not know about it. It's called the SAVE Act, SAVE. Look it up, read about it, because that's how you learn. And what I'm saying to you is, it is voter suppression, because it's saying that if you are single, you can use your birth certificate. But if I'm not mistaken, what they were saying is a lot of college kids don't have their birth certificates on them. And if you are an international student or someone that's far away from home and you don't have a copy of it, and you're not going to be around during voting season, it's going to be a mess, right? So if you are in college, I'm going to say this, and you think your parents have a copy of your birth certificate, ask them to mail you the original document. You have to have the original document, okay? If you are married, you have to have a passport. And I'm not saying that they won't use your driver's license, because I'm not sure if the SAVE Act is going to be passed by next year for the midterms, 2026. Is it 2026, 2027? I'm not sure. But at any rate, whenever the midterms are, we have to make sure that we're ready to vote. And so there's going to be a lot of people that are left out of this, unfortunately, because of a lot of different reasons. And a lot of different reasons, such as, poverty, not knowing about it, not being aware of it. So please, if you haven't, but the thing about, if you haven't watched this recent Oval Office meeting, excuse me, with Trump, I almost want to say don't, because it's just going to ruin your day. But if you need to watch it to see what I'm saying about the divisiveness, then watch it, because it's an eye opener. It's an eye opener for sure about where our country is not going, but where it's come. It's changed overnight. I don't know if anyone else can see it, or if they're just thinking, well, nothing's really happening yet. Everything's happening as we speak. So I want everyone to know that I hate all this heaviness, because it's like, I'm sorry, I had to do the little notification thing again. I'm really like a laid back person. I try to be kind. I have, really nice neighbors. My husband is really cool. My stepson is really, I have 2 stepsons and 2 daughters. My parents are still with us. They're aging. They're getting up there, and I have 4 sisters that are all spread out. And I'll tell you more about my life someday. And I probably should have started with that, but I am more of an introvert, meaning I think a lot, and I am very intense in the way that I speak. So it might come across like, oh, she's very uptight, and maybe I am a little bit. And I think with what's going on right now, I think I'm very uptight. Okay, but I try to be happy, and I try to see the good in people. It's just that everything has been so tough. So I just want to say to everyone, have a blessed day, have a good week, and you will see me more on here. Okay, bye.